on the campus
Hmm.
to be there, you know, so I can actually make the juggle because it's the only times that those classes are offered. So,
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the most straightforward answer to that is, of course, Wi-Fi is everywhere on campus. So find yourself a nice bench and sit outside where the
right,
fresh air is.
right.
So
Yeah,
that
I
would be
wasn't sure how stringent, you know, with everybody has their, you know, extremes. So I didn't know if it's like, no, you can't be inside anywhere. You know, so, or,
yeah. Well, we do want to reduce the interior loads in all the
right,
buildings, right? So that's an interesting question. I don't have an answer. I think by and large, their answer is going to be they don't want anybody in the buildings who is not actively doing the thing that they are required to do in that building.
right.
As I say, I think there's going to be one room open in the library, but I imagine that'll get full fast. I don't think that any interior spaces are going to be open in the BMU, at least for a while. And so what I would anticipate is bring a lawn chair and sit out on the quad somewhere. As it gets cooler out, bring a nice coat. That would be my recommendation. Is the best way to take care of that is just to be outside. You know, we've got, of course, in the arts building, that nice interior courtyard space. You know, which is a little sheltered from the sun and the wind as needed.
I have a portable table and chair in the back of my car.
Yep. A lot of people are actually just finding places they can park and doing stuff from inside their car.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know where you park when you get to campus, if it's close enough or not. But that's what a lot of people have been doing. You might also think, I mean, these are not great options, I realize, but you know, a lot of people have been like parking outside of, you know, the nearest Starbucks or McDonald's or wherever has free Wi-Fi, using that. And then, you know, if you can do that 5 minutes from campus instead of coming all the way from your house,
Right, right.
you know, not great options. I'm cognizant, but those would be my varied recommendations.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure. And I would say if any of you do have real serious technology needs, like you do not have the technology you need to take the online classes that are your only option in many cases at this point, please do let one of us know and we will see whether we can obtain any for you. There are some loaner laptops that are going to be available. They may be able to give out mobile hotspots. Those are not really, they're not good for, you know, like streaming video. They're okay for most other things. You think of it as, you know, just using your cell phone basically. But so anyway, those are other possibilities.
Asa, to bounce off that, there was talk towards the end of last semester about letting students remote into desktops on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So in case their computer didn't have the power to run a necessary program, for example, or didn't have licensing.
Yes.
What's the status on that?
My understanding is it is happening. I don't believe it is yet up and running. But yes, they are, as far as I understand it, doing that. There's two different systems. One works with the PCs, one works with the Macs, but basically virtual desktops where they should be able to remotely access them. Now, bear in mind, it's like one student at a time can get on it, just like it's a real computer, right? So it's not like some cloud system where you can all log in at once, but rather that computer that you used to sit at in class, you can now be sitting at it remotely, yeah? So you'll have to work out, assuming they get this all up and running and it works fine, you'll have to work out a system for, you know, who's using it when.
Okay, yeah, we ended up doing that with a rendering program. I had a spare computer running in the room with me while I taught that would basically, I had students remote in and do their renders and then switch out. So
cool. Yeah, and so if you want to send me an email to follow up on that, I can double check, see what the latest status is on it.
I'm not too concerned at the start of the semester,
Okay.
just because Revit student access is free, so it's not that big of a concern right now.
Yeah, that'll help a huge amount. So, all right, yeah, but do let me, or if it's up to Cam, let him know if you need to figure out who to talk to about that. All right, anything else? Going once? Going twice? Okay, everybody, it was lovely seeing you. I hope you have a good rest of your summer insofar as that's possible under our weird circumstances. I hope you are all, you and your families are all healthy and doing okay. And I hope all, goes smoothly as the semester starts. If you need anything, as I say, feel free to shoot me an email anytime. Okay?
Cool.
Thanks, Asa.
Thanks,
All
Asa.
right. I'll see y'all.
So I guess I have one more question before I go, but I guess this can be directed to either you, Kijong, or to you, Ruben. So I understand right now in this meeting, we're talking about kind of the immediate needs for this coming fall. But for those of us who are going to be graduating in the spring, I'm sure a lot of us are kind of wondering if this is just going to be something we're going to be working with for just the fall, and then things will be better in the spring, or vice versa. And obviously you can't predict how things are going to go, but just in the meetings you guys are in and other faculty members you're talking to, is there anyone who's leaning more towards this continuing through the spring? Because I know obviously CSU obviously was like the first university system in the country to kind of make the decision to switch to online classes. So I'd imagine that they would be proactive again about that in the spring. So anyway, I'm just kind of curious, have you guys heard any indication leaning which way about what they're thinking?
Go ahead, Kijong.
That's a very difficult.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, I know it is.
I wish I know it, but at this point, I have no idea what's going on in this country, honestly. So.
Okay.
I know this is not the answer you are looking for, but I wish
Well,
I
yeah.
know more than that. So even I didn't expect it was going to be this bad even 3 months ago.
Yeah.
In the fall, when the spring semester was over, I thought we were going to come back very comfortably to the campus around this time. But now it is worse than ever before.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on? So
You're right. I mean, part of the reason because when we were planning earlier on, when this happened in March, and we're asking what to do for the fall, basically for the 2020-2021 semester, we were, more positive, like, all right, give it a few months, and by the time fall comes, it's going to be fine. And so worst case scenario, we're going to go hybrid. And that's why our department is really going hybrid. All the studio classes are, hybrid, and then all the lectures are full online. But nothing got any better. And then this weekend, I guess Butte County also went on alert, and things are closing down. I noticed today there's a lot of stores that were closed. And so at this point, honestly, I don't know. I'm going to see what happens with the freshmen when I talk to them. But we're also just kind of following what this university directives are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what I'm hearing is be prepared for anything.
Okay, yeah. Because I remember at the end of last semester, while we were doing online stuff, I know you were really good about, sharing what you were hearing about from the university and being like, this is kind of what it sounds like things are going, not sure yet, but this is kind of where things are leaning. I know I personally would appreciate hearing anything like that if they're, starting to tell you, okay, yeah, be sure to start preparing for next spring, anything like that. But obviously, like you said, it's kind of the $1 million question. I don't expect either one of you to have the answer to that,
What about the department as a group? I know some of you guys all kind of talk to each other. How do you guys feel about the whole hybrid versus online, or should it have been all online considering the circumstances?
Well, I've heard like mixed reactions. I've heard some of them say that they appreciate having the time to come to studio and have that one-on-one interaction with you and, getting your comments right there. Whereas some of them do feel like, it's just right now at this time, I don't feel safe. So I would not want to go at all. So that leads on to this other question on this Google Doc is they're asking that, let's say that they do have something to do out of town. Would you prefer them to make it to all the Zoom lectures, or would you prefer them to just have their work done and you are being able to monitor it time? Does that make sense?
I mean, to answer that, that's kind of a tough one because it's from teacher to teacher and class to class. Individual teacher is going to set the requirements for the class because they're the teacher. And you'll have to work with your teacher individually to figure out what their expectations are. you know, everyone's different, I would say.
Okay.
What
I
other
think,
questions? Go ahead.
just real quick, I was just gonna say, I think what you guys were talking about and presented are all really good, especially the hybrid options and everything. I think just as Kijang was pointing out, as long as there is an kind of an out for those people who don't feel comfortable going into in-person classes, I think, you know, as bumpy as this process may be, I think it'll go pretty well. Because
Frank, your faculty, there's a lot of, I honestly, I'll be frank, I don't feel comfortable walking into the classroom. I got my 80-year-old mom I stay with, take care of. And so I'm sure there's other people in similar scenarios where they have elderly parents or folks who they take care of. My wife is diabetic, so I got to be careful. And so I've been pretty much quarantined all summer and working out of the home and with limited interactions, with a portable table and chair to meet with people outside if I have to, with a set of drawings. I submitted the first set of Rebuild Paradise last week. All of that, we met outside and with the folks, with the engineers, and we hashed it all out, wearing masks and standing like 7-8 feet away from each other. It was an experience, all right.
Yeah.
But we did it with limited interaction. Now, considering it took us longer, I was planning on getting the first project option 1 submitted to the building department in May, and now it's almost August. We're getting it in, and so the process slowed down. I just couldn't go over to the building department anymore, or walk over to the engineer's office, or have engineer come over and work together on a project, vice versa. Everything was done online. So, and you send an email with questions and you don't expect the call back right away. And so you wait a day and then you get a call back and then you work. So everything kind of slows down.
Yeah.
And so I think, there are a lot of challenges in that. And I think we understand that. And as long as the students also understand, and that's one of the reasons I'm going to have this one-on-one, not one-on-one, but a group meeting with my freshman students, is because they have some expectations. I have some expectations. Considering the scenario, we have to come up with a fair way of being able to go through this. There's going to be students with demanding needs and different requirements that I'm going to be sensitive to. But I would request my students do the same for me, where, if I don't feel comfortable coming in, they should understand that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all in this together. We're going to all figure it out individually at a time. There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be limited interaction, and there's going to be times where I'm here all day on campus. You want to come in and meet with me individually and do a little one-on-one out in the courtyard, I'll be there with the table. So if somebody wants to come in and talk to me, come on over. So yeah, that's kind of, my positive way of thinking about this. Almost done, but my son just got his first computer today, so he just can't wait to unbox it. Like, he's got, what is it called? The kid, some big old machine he ordered. He built it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost built it. Anyhow, so yeah, well, I'm trying to stay positive, and I know there's going to be challenges, and so.
Cool.
All I can say, yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I had. Linda, did you have any others, or Katrina?
No, I think we answered them all. There wasn't really a lot of questions, but there was a handful. But yeah, I think we answered all the questions to the best of our abilities. So I'll just have it out there. And then Ruben, if you could, maybe you can invite me to your freshman meeting. That way I can introduce them to our club and whatnot.
Yes,
hopefully
I will.
we will be able to figure something out with that. That way I will be able to send them out questions and whatever it is concerning the club. That'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely happy to do that. Like I said, I think one of the biggest challenges, part of my job in first year is, just not just teach and but really get to know the students and get to know them in a personal level. As you know, I spent a lot of time with you guys first year. We do a lot of activities together. I come over, Kijang, both come by at night to see what you guys are doing, late nights and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things I'm going to miss. And I think maybe the student club here is where you guys can jump in to help, build that sort of community from the get-go. Yeah, and you guys are going to be taking a lot of classes together and then eventually joining the field and working together